The sound that woke me wasn't an alarm. It was the faint scrape of paper against wood. At first I stayed still, half asleep, convinced it was part of a dream. The apartment felt wrong, too quiet, like something had already left before I woke up. When I finally sat up, my chest tightened. On the kitchen table sat a folded piece of paper, handwritten. I recognized the handwriting immediately. Emily. I unfolded it with shaking fingers. I need to get away for a week. I'm doing this for my mental health. Please don't worry. I love you. That was all. No explanation, no destination, no discussion. 7 years together, and this was how she left. I told myself not to panic. People take space. People struggle. We were engaged, weeks away from booking venues, arguing over guest lists, joking about which side of the family would drink too much. You don't abandon that overnight. I was wrong. That week stretched longer than it should have. I texted once, then twice, then stopped. I didn't want to be controlling. I didn't want to be the kind of man who smothered someone who said they needed air. But every night, I slept on her side of the bed.
Every morning I woke up expecting to hear her in the shower. The apartment slowly felt like a place she had never lived. By day 5, something cold settled in my stomach. By day 7, I was bracing myself for something I couldn't name. When the door finally opened, relief hit me first, then horror. Emily stood there quietly, hands clasped in front of her, like a child waiting to be scolded. Her face looked wrong. Dark ink stretched across her forehead, bold and unmistakable. Sharp symbols carved permanently into her skin. Under her eyes, more markings, heavy, deliberate, impossible to ignore. My brain refused to process it. I remember thinking maybe she was pranking me. Maybe it was makeup. Maybe I was still dreaming. Then she stepped closer, and I saw the swelling, the redness, the permanence. I don't remember sitting down, but suddenly I was in a chair, staring at the woman I was supposed to marry, unable to form a sentence. Finally, I whispered, "What did you do?"
She didn't flinch. I had to. That was her answer. Emily had never liked tattoos. She used to say she loved skin the way it was. She teased me for even considering a small one on my arm. So when she told me she hadn't been interested in tattoos, ever, I believed her. She said something inside her pushed her to do it, something she couldn't explain. She admitted she hid it because she knew I'd talk her out of it. That confession hurt more than the tattoo itself. Then I looked closer. The symbols weren't random. They were Yakuza markings. Her parents were Japanese immigrants. They carried cultural wounds most people never saw. Those symbols weren't edgy. They were associated with violence, shame, and exile. She didn't just tattoo her face. She burned a bridge she could never rebuild. I tried to stay calm. I failed.
I told her she worked in a client-facing job, that she met executives daily, that no amount of self-expression mattered if she couldn't pay rent. I told her this would follow her forever, that it wasn't brave, it was reckless. She stared at me for a long moment, eyes flat, unreadable. Then she said, "I didn't think about my job, or my family, or you. I just wanted to be free." That sentence felt like a blade sliding between my ribs. I realized then that this wasn't rebellion. It was detachment. After the fight, the apartment went silent. Not tense silence, not angry silence. Dead silence. She didn't respond when I spoke, didn't look at me, didn't react. An entire day passed like that. I followed her with my eyes, desperate for something. Anger, tears, regret. Nothing came.
That night I fell asleep telling myself we'd talk in the morning. We never did. When I woke up, Emily was gone. Her clothes were missing, her toothbrush, her laptop. My calls went straight to voicemail. Then nothing. Blocked. Her sister. Blocked. Her parents. Blocked. Panic took over. I tore through the apartment looking for signs. Notes. Clues. Anything. There was only one place that made sense. A lake she loved.
She always said the water made her feel quiet inside. I drove there shaking. She wasn't there. I stood at the edge of the water for an hour, staring at my reflection, trying not to imagine the worst. I was minutes away from calling the police when my phone buzzed.
One message. I never want to see you again. That was the end of 7 years. The next morning, I opened my door and saw a box. Inside was the engagement ring, every gift I'd ever given her, folded neatly, carefully, like a funeral arrangement. I collapsed on the porch. Neighbors walked past. I didn't care. Emily lost her job within a month, then her friends, then her family. Her sister told me they believed she was having a breakdown. They tried to get her help.
Emily responded by calling the police on them. That was when I walked away. It felt like abandoning someone who was drowning, but staying was killing me too. I took a month off work, nearly quit, nearly moved back home. I survived by pretending the woman I loved had already died. 2 years passed. Then my phone rang. Emily's name lit up the screen. I answered without thinking. She came over that night. She looked fragile, thinner, hollow. The tattoo was still there, hidden under makeup. She told me the truth. The pressure, the stress, the Adderall abuse. One day she woke up hating everything. The tattoo wasn't expression. It was surrender. She asked to try again. I wanted to believe her, but something was missing. She talked about my pain like it didn't matter. She said I was lucky she left. Lucky I didn't have to deal with her chaos. She never apologized. Not for the messages, not for the accusations, not for destroying our future. When I opened up, she brushed it aside. I texted her later, vulnerable for the last time. She ignored it, and the pain came rushing back. Yesterday, her sister called. Emily overdosed. She died alone. There will be no service, no ceremony. Her family had already mourned her. When I hung up, I felt nothing. I don't miss the woman she became. I miss the woman she was. That woman died long before her body did, and that's the part that hurts the most.